Hello everyone and welcome back to Pabbly. So today I'm going to automate the entire process of your business's invoice creation. Simply you receive an invoice request and the invoice is created for that business according to their requirements. So now first of all let me show you how this amazing automation is going to work in real time. I have this Google Forms using which I collect the details of the person who wants to give me an invoice request. Okay, over here you can see these are the details that I'm collecting. Let us do the form submission of this form right here. I'm going to copy it, paste it right here. Now this is the invoice request form. Firstly, it is asking for the company's name. For the company name over here, let's suppose I will write it as AA Company. Okay. Next, it is asking for the billing address, for which let me enter over here 123 Old Town. Okay. Now it is asking for the city, for which I will write it as Indore. Country over here, let's suppose the country is India. Postal code, a dummy postal code is going to be entered. It is asking for me to select the item. I want to purchase the tablet, so I will select it. Quantity, I want the quantity, let's suppose as 100 pieces or 150 pieces. Okay, I'm going to click on this submit button. And you can see it says your response has been recorded. As now this form submission is done, I will open my Google Drive folder where all the invoices are saved automatically. So this is my folder and you can see automatically an invoice is generated for AA Company. You can see right over here. This was the same address. City was Indore. Country is India. This is the postal code. You can see right over here. It has a unique invoice number. The date of the invoice is 10th of October 2025. Okay, you can see right over here. I asked for a tablet. You can see I've asked for the 150 quantity. This is per unit price of the tablet, that is 15,000. So this is how this amazing invoice creation automation is going to work in real time. And now we're going to build a connection to create this automation using Pabbly Connect. For that, what you need to do is open a new tab where you have to browse the website of Pabbly Connect, that is www.pabbly.com/connect. After you come to the landing page of Pabbly Connect, over here you will find two options in front of you. If you are a new user, that means you do not have an account with us, directly sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I'm already a user, so I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. Then Pabbly Connect's all Pabbly apps page is going to appear in front of you where you will see all the applications that Pabbly provides. As I want to use Pabbly Connect, I will click on this Access Now button. And then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear. Now to create a new automation inside Pabbly Connect, we have to create a workflow. For that, click on this Create Workflow button on the top right corner. Now over here, if you want your workflow to be more modern, faster and flexible, select the new beta method version. But if you want your workflow to have more stable and familiar approach, select the classic version. I will select the new beta method version from here. First, it is asking for me to rename my workflow. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Generate Invoices Automatically. For the folder, these are the folders from which I'm going to select Workflows folder and click on this Create button. As soon as I've done that, automatically a workflow is created inside Pabbly Connect Workflows. There are two major steps. That is trigger in action. Firstly, we're going to set up our trigger right here. For the trigger application, what I'll do is I'll select over here as Google Forms. I want that as soon as the Google Forms submission is going to be done for the invoice request, automatically this trigger should capture the response of that. Event is new response received, then click on this connect button. You will see the webhook URL. This is a unique URL using which we are going to build the connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. Okay, I'm going to copy this URL from here. Now let us build the connection between this form and Pabbly Connect. For that, what you need to do is from the panel go to responses and then click on this link to sheets button. If you want, you can create a new spreadsheet or you can select the existing one as well. I will create a new one. Now the spreadsheet that is created is directly connected to this form that I've created right over here. Now whenever a form submission is going to be done by any of the person, automatically the record of it is going to be created in the spreadsheet under the headers right here. So now let us connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect. Okay, over here from the panel go to extensions, add-ons and get add-ons option. Then over here after coming to the get add-ons window, you need to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. Okay, after selecting, you need to install this webhook. You can see I've already done that. As with the help of this webhook, we are going to build the connection between the spreadsheet and Pabbly Connect. After installing, refresh the spreadsheet from here. After refreshing, go to extensions. You will see the option that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Click on it. From the drop down, select the option that is Initial Setup. The Initial Setup dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, on which firstly it is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So for the webhook URL, paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. The trigger column is the final data column in which the data is going to be added. In the spreadsheet, my final data column is quantity, that is column H. So for the trigger column, I will write it as column H and click on this submit button. The connection is then going to be successfully created. It says setup configured successfully. Go back to extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, then click on the send on event button. Now this step is a mandatory step for you to follow, because as soon as the new data is going to be entered in the spreadsheet, automatically using the send on event, you can see a tick mark. The data is going to be forwarded towards the URL. That is why it is mandatory to click on send on event. Okay. So now if I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether the connection between this form and Pabbly Connect is successfully created or not, what I will do is I am going to do a new form submission and check whether automatically this trigger captures the response of the new form submission or not. Okay. So I'm going to copy the URL of this form right over here, and then what I'll do is I'll first close all these tabs and simply open the URL over here on a new tab. Over here, firstly, it is asking for the company name. For the company name, let's suppose I will write it as ABCDE Business. Okay, so this is the name of the company. I've given a test company name. Next, it is asking for the billing address. For the billing address, let's suppose I'll write it as 01 ABC New Road. Okay, for the city, I will write over here as Bhopal. For the country, I'll write it as India right over here. For the postal code, I will enter a dummy postal code right here. Okay, I want to purchase, let's suppose, a printer. So I'll select printer, and I want, let's suppose, 350 printers. Okay, then I'm going to click on this submit button. As soon as I've done that, it says the response has been recorded. So if I'm going to open my Google Sheets, you can see the detailed response has been captured in my Google Sheets and also in my workflow. Okay, you can see the trigger column was column H, date and time of the response been captured. Now over here, I have received this printer. You can see right over here the quantity as 350. Now as we are going to create an invoice, in invoice what we have to do is we have to give the total of the requested item. Okay, so over here you can see this lead, this person who have just done a form submission is asking for a printer, and the quantity that they want is in 350. Now I cannot just manually every time type in something. So over here what we are going to do is, firstly we are going to take out the price of this printer, that what is the unit price of the printer, and then we're going to multiply the unit price with this given quantity. For that, simply we are going to add an amazing step in this workflow. Firstly, we'll take out the price of a printer. Search over here for lookup table. Okay, in lookup table over here, I will select the event as lookup table. Click on this connect button. For the lookup key, I will map the data. I want to look up to the item that this person has selected from my Google Forms submission. Over here, you can see for the items, I have received this printer. So I'm going to just select the data of the selected item from my previous response. So now as I've selected this data from my previous response, this data right over here has been mapped. And as I've mapped this data, the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in the previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. So now this lookup table is going to look for this printer value in the table that we are going to create right now. Just click on this button. For the label, what I'll do is I will write over here my first thing, that is a laptop right here. So I'm going to just copy this name over here, paste it. Okay, now the value, the amount of the laptop is 50,000 rupees. So I'm going to enter 50,000 for laptop. In the similar manner, I have 3 other items: smartphone, tablet and printer. So I'm going to enter all the names with the prices in the value field right here. So you can see right over here, this is the lookup table. Laptop is for 50,000, smartphone is for 25,000, tablet is for 15,000, the printer is for 12,000. Okay, so what are these values? These are the unit price of these items that I have right here. You can add as many items of your business over here in the list. I've taken an example of 4 items, that is why I've added added all the 4 items right here. Then I will click on the save and send test request button. You can see the printer is for 12,000. Okay, so now whenever a new item is going to be received in this response, automatically you will receive the per unit price in this lookup table. Now I want the total price. Now we are going to multiply the per unit with the quantity selected by the person. For that, I'm going to add an action step, in which from action application I will select over here as number formatter by Pabbly. Using this amazing feature, let's perform a math operation. I will select the event perform math operation, click on this connect button. I want to multiply this per unit price, enter a comma, and then enter the quantity that we have received. Okay, this comma is going to represent as the operation right here. I want to multiply, then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button, and you can see the total amount is 42 lakh rupees. You can see right over here for 350 printers. Okay, so now we have the total right over here. Now what we're going to do is, using the details that we have received in our Google Forms submission, and as we have received the total and the per unit price, now let us create the invoice document. Over here I have created a Google Docs template using which we are going to create an invoice document. Now what we are going to do is, over here in this document you can see I've added few variables like company name, street address, city, country, postal code, invoice number, date, item name, quantity, price, total price and total. Okay, so now these are the variables in place of which I am going to enter the values through the form submission that we have received, as well as the total as well. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, using this template we are going to generate a new invoice. Okay, so first of all I want to show you one thing. It is also asking for an invoice date. Okay, so now let us have an invoice date over here as well. For that, simply I'm going to add an action step, in which from action application I will select over here as date time formatter by Pabbly. Event is going to be get current date. As a new form submission is going to be done, over here with this step we'll get the current date on which the invoice that we are generating right now has been created. Okay, format, I want the basic format of the date right over here. This is the format I want. I'll select it, click on the save and send test request button. We have received the invoice date over here as well. So now as we have all the details, let us add another action step right over here, in which from action application I'll select over here as Google Docs. An event is going to be create document from template. Click on this connect button. Over here you can see it is asking for us to create a connection. If you want, you can select the existing one from before from the drop down, but I'm going to add a new one. Then click on this sign in with Google button right over here. It is asking for us to select an account that we want to connect with Pabbly Connect. This is the account. I will select it. And then it is asking for the permission for the account, for which I'm going to click on this allow button, as this is a safe process and my data is completely safe with Pabbly Connect. Okay, for the template document I have created a template over here in the name of invoice template. So for the document I will select this same template right here. What is going to be the new document's name? I will map the date of the name of the business right here. This is the name of the business, and right over here as invoice. Okay, so this is the new document's name that is going to be created through this template. For the location, I have created a Google Drive folder in the name of what? Invoice docs. So what I'll do is, for the location I will select over here as invoice docs. Okay, now it is asking for all these details. These are the variables that I've created in the template. So now for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data. For the company name, I'll map the data of the company name. Then I'll map the data of the street address that I have received. This is the address. It is asking for the city. I'll map the data of the city right over here. Then it is asking for the country. I'll map the date of the country over here. It is asking for the postal code, so I'll map the date of the postal code. For the invoice number, I'm going to enter an invoice number. I'll write INV slash it's 2025 slash, and then I'll map the data of what? I'll map the data of the row index that I have received right here. Okay, now it is asking for the invoice date, for which I'll map the date of the current date that we have received. Item name is printer, so I'll map the date of that item name. Quantity, we have received the quantity in the Google Forms response. I'll map the data right here. Price, now we have to enter a per unit price in this price section. So what I'll do is I'll enter the rupees sign and map the date of the per unit price that we have received. Total price, now this total price is going to be this price that we have right over here. So I'll enter a rupees sign in this field and then map the data of this price. Okay, and for the total, what I'll do is I'll simply enter the rupees sign and map the data of the total again. Okay, so I've entered all the required details. Then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button right here, and I've received this response. In the response, if you will receive the document ID, that is the positive response. If I'm going to open my Google Docs, you can see automatically a new invoice has been added. It's for ABCD business. You can see this was the same address. Item name was printer, quantity was 350, per unit price is 12,000, amount is 42 lakhs, and the total is 42 lakhs. Okay, so as now this, you can see the invoice number and the date is also right here. So this is how you can automatically create this amazing automation for automatically creating invoices. Okay, so now if you have any questions or doubts related to this workflow that I've created in this video, you can ask us all the questions in the comment section and we will reply to you as soon as possible. So did you see how simple it was to create this amazing automation, that too without need of any coding and programming skills using Pabbly Connect? Just automate the process of invoice creation in your business by this simple amazing workflow. If you want this workflow as a reference in your business, you will find the link of the workflow in the description section below. Simply use it. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask us queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button down there.